friends, I am outside obviously, and it's a beautiful day as far as the sky goes. Let me see if show you the sky. See how beautiful and blue that sky is? Gorgeous. But it is quite chilly, so I've got my sweatshirt on and this goofy hat. I'm out here because I want to work in my greenhouse. I've been wanting to do this for a week now, and it's time. So let me turn the camera around. I will show you the state of things and what I want to get done today. There's such a temperature difference that my glasses have fogged up. It's like I said, it's chilly outside, and let me see what the temperature is in here. It's 70, like 72 degrees in here. But if you look back there, that's romaine lettuce. That is ready to be harvested. And there's spinach right here that needs room to breathe. So I need to go through here and get all of these weeds out of here. I had the soaker hose hooked up for a couple of days, but I think, yeah, the soil is dry again. So once I get all these weeds out of here, I'm going to hook the hose back up because it's chilly out, but it's not like the hose isn't going to be frozen. So let me get my camera set up. I have to get this pot and these tanks. These are for the heater. This is our greenhouse heater because, like I said, I think I told you before, we tried to do a winter crop in here, but it just didn't work. I didn't sow the seeds soon enough, and so hardly anything sprouted. So anyway, I got to get this stuff moved out of here because this is a really small space and I cannot work with this stuff in here. And I get my tripod set up and we'll get busy.
All right.
If you've been following me for a while, you remember last fall I transplanted 2 peonies out here. And looks like this one survived and is coming back. This one, I don't know. Not looking too promising. Oh wait, no, there's some life right there. Yay! I'm so glad. Oh, there's some more life right there. Yay! So my peonies made it. There's some too. I'll keep it. I don't take the leaves off so I can get some heat from the sun. This one's doing really good. Sally, get out of there. Sally. Hey, get out of there. Okay, so I've got this much done and quite a bit of spinach. This I'm a little bit afraid of pulling those weeds because it's going to disturb those plants too much, at least while the ground is not super wet. I was just talking with Travis. I was wanting him to hook up my soaker hose, but we have a couple of problems. It got cold enough last night that our hose is full of ice, so we have to wait for that to thaw. And then I just noticed this end is messed up. So that's going to have to wait till Scott gets home so he can fix that. So I was going to try to finish this today, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to finish it today. I wanted to get the rest of these weeds out and then get some seeds sown in here, but I can't do that as long as the hose is broken. So, well, put this on hold and I might finish it today, or I might have to come back tomorrow or Saturday and finish it. But anyway, got this many weeds out of there, which is crazy. And it does look a lot better. Not as good as I was hoping, but a lot better. I think these are carrots. I'm not positive, but I think those are carrots, so I left those. I do remember planting carrot seeds back in that corner, so very well could be. Well, I thought since I couldn't finish my greenhouse, and that's what the main subject of this video was going to be, my greenhouse, and I can't finish it today, I thought I'd just do a little early spring tour of the garden property, and we'll start with my forsythia bush. It is starting to put some blooms on. It's been such a weird winter and spring. I don't know how it's gonna bloom, but usually it's just loaded with yellow blossoms, but it's looking a little weird. I don't know. We'll see. This garden, this is my main garden patch. This is where I'll plant the hyacinths when they're ready to plant. These are my live forevers, and I need to pull all the dead off. Those get really big, and then in the fall they push off these shoots that have flowers on them. They're really kind of pretty. And I've got some, oh, what are those called? Irises planted in there. And I have a couple of butterfly bushes planted in here too. One of them came back last year. The other one came back, but it was really pitiful looking, so I don't know if it's going to come back this year. It was, I think this dead thing here was the butterfly bush. So that one, this is the one that came back decent. This one's the one that didn't come back as good, as you can see. But down underneath there should be hopefully some life. But yeah, it's too early to mess with cleaning this out yet. I usually don't do anything in these garden beds until May, after Mother's Day, because we had snow yesterday. You could see remnants of it, and it's way too early to be messing with the outside garden. This is my honeysuckle bush. It had a really big die-off, and I thought it had just completely died, but little vines started coming back, and I think it's just the mother plant, which is this right here, died, and these are all just the babies. They're starting to take hold, but this has been here for years. Goodness gracious, 15 years at least I planted it, so maybe even longer than that. So I guess it's normal that the main tree would die, and the babies are coming back. Oh, it's cold. Those are my lilac bushes. They've become more like lilac trees. They're starting to put off leaves. Way too soon for the flowers though. Although you can see they are starting to get buds. I think we're going to have quite a few blooms this year. These bushes, they kind of go through a biannual. They're like biannual. One year we'll have loads of blossoms, and then the next year we'll just have a few. And then it's like every other year we get loads of blossoms. And I don't remember exactly, but I think last year was a year where we didn't have that many blossoms. So maybe this year we'll have a ton. This is my rock garden that I have pretty much ignored for several years. The chickens don't leave it alone. So I used to plant annuals in here, and the free ranger chickens just come in here and scratch and scratch and scratch. I mean, you can tell they've been scratching in here. So I just planted a bunch of hostas, and the hostas come back every year. They like it over here because hostas are shade plants. We got this huge oak tree here, so this is very shaded. And the chickens, they kind of damage them a little bit, but hostas are really hardy. And so, I mean, they could be more beautiful if the chickens would leave it alone, but it's good enough. I just basically come in here in the spring and clean all the leaves out, and that's basically all I do. I used to mulch it real heavy, but like I said, chickens won't leave it alone, and mulch isn't exactly cheap, and so I'm not going to waste my time mulching it. The chickens are just going to spread the mulch everywhere else. Over here is my Lily of the Valley patch, and I got a couple of volunteer lilac bushes coming up in there. I like Lily of the Valley. They're very short-lived. They come up, they put off these beautiful little white flowers that smell really good. Flowers die off, and then it's just a green ground cover after that for the whole rest of the summer. If you do have small children, Lily of the Valley are toxic to people, so you may want to not plant them where your children can get a hold of them if you've got toddlers. But I don't have toddlers, so, and they spread. It started out years ago, I just had a small patch, and now they've just spread and spread and spread. You can see they come clear back here now. Scott does mow off quite a bit of it, and the edges here get run over by the car because this is our driveway. But it's still pretty, and it has serves its purpose as a ground cover. And then over here I have my daylilies. These lilies, they have a lot of lilac bushes coming up in them too. I need to get in here and cut those off with shears before the daylilies get any bigger. But these daylilies, the original plants came from over at my parents' house, and those daylilies at my parents' house have been there, goodness, years, like 60 years maybe. And the farmhouse where my parents lived when they first bought this property, probably 35, 40 years ago, it burnt down, and the daylilies were planted right next to the farmhouse. So they withstood a fire, they withstood the fire trucks and the water hose, I mean everything. And then the house had to be demolished because it was totaled. And they, so they pushed in the basement and they cleared it all the whole house off. And before they could even get the new house built, the daylilies were coming up. And so when Scott and I established our home here, I took a sampling of the daylilies and planted them, and they just grow and grow and grow. I just had a small patch to start with, and now they're spreading too. When I first planted them here, because daylilies like sun, they like sun. When I first planted them here 25 years ago, 26 years ago, all of these trees were small, and so they got lots of sun. Of course, now all these trees are grown and they get a lot more shade, so they don't do as well as they did in years past. But before long, all these trees will be dead, and we'll have to cut them down, and it'll be sunny over here in this spot again. So that's everything I have at my property, except for I think I didn't show you these. These are some more hostas. The chickens don't seem to bother these as much, and these do a lot better than the ones in my rock garden. So let me take you over to my parents' house. My mom's got a ton of spring flowers that are blooming right now that are so pretty. Here's some of Mom's daffodils. They're almost past their prime now. Well, maybe not. That's awfully pretty still. Just kind of bent over. Here's some of the hyacinths I was telling you about that my mom, these were ones that people had given her as gifts, and she just planted them out here. There's the original Tigerlily Patch. It's become very overgrown. We had lots of trees that have been taken down and fallen over. We must have lost, this tree must have fell. I'm not sure when, because it wasn't like this last fall. But anyway, that is the original patch that was next to the house, the old farmhouse. And it survived and is going crazy. Well, friends, this turned out to be more of a tour of the gardens in the springtime video, more than let's get this greenhouse running video, but ran into some technical difficulties with that soaker hose. I'm going to let Scott know, and maybe he'll pick up a new hose, because I don't know that it can be fixed. He has to stop at Menards on his way home anyway, and so maybe we'll just have him pick up a new soaker hose while he's at it. He's not making unnecessary stops, for those of you who are concerned about it. We are right in the middle of a renovation project that we started well before all of this nonsense happened in the world, and so we need to get it finished. So he's stopping to pick up supplies for that. Anyway, thanks for joining me today as I worked in my greenhouse and gave you a little tour of our property. I'm going to go in the house now and get a shower and get in some cozy clothes because it's chilly out here. Thanks so much for watching, friends, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.